Hey everyone, Mrs. Quinn here. I just wanted to kind of reach out and talk to you guys about one of my favorite authors. So her name is Sharon Creech, and I actually found out that she lived in Cleveland, Ohio, which is where I'm originally from. So I thought that that was pretty cool. But I wanted to talk to you guys today about a couple of her books and kind of give you a little snapshot of one of her books. I won't read the whole story, but just give you a little kind of sneak peek of it. So her first book I want to talk to you about is Walk Two Moons. And this is about a girl who travels from Ohio to Idaho to find her mother. And it really kind of gives you that sensation of travel without actually traveling. All of her stories do that. Her one book is called Bloomability, and it takes place in Switzerland. And I want to just hop on a plane and go walk in all of the towns and mountains that the character walked in. But this is, she is a wonderful author to travel with kind of throughout her stories rather than actually having to jump on a plane. So, but this is a great way to kind of leave New Mexico without physically leaving New Mexico, especially this time. But Walk Two Moons is about a girl who's traveling from Ohio to Idaho to find her mother and reunite with her. This is more for a fifth grade into middle school book. I read it in like the end of fifth grade, beginning of sixth grade year, and my sister read it in like sixth, seventh grade. So it's a really great book to read. Highly recommend this one. And it is a Newbery Award winner. So anytime you see this little medal on it, that means that it was given an award. And she has gotten so many awards for her books, but this is the one that is most known. I have a couple other books here that I'm going to show you that are not middle school. Middle schoolers can read them, but also younger grades. So her writing is definitely a span from kind of the younger grades on up. The second book I'm going to show you is called Saving Winslow. And this is about a cute little donkey that she actually has on her farm named Winslow. And so it's about, well, I'll read it to you. It says, Louis doesn't have the best luck when it comes to nurturing small creatures. So when his father brings home a sickly newborn mini donkey, he's determined to save him. He names him Winslow. Taking care of him helps Louis feel closer to his brother Gus, who is far, far away in the army. Everyone worries that Winslow won't survive, especially Louis's quirky new friend, Nora. But as Louis's bond with Winslow grows, surprising events prove that this fragile donkey and Louis are stronger than anyone could have imagined. Okay, so it's really about a friendship and a bond, and it's also about responsibility. And this is just a wonderful book. This would be more, I would say, for kind of that third, fourth grade. Anybody, again, can read this, so third grade on up. However, it's written in that friendly manner that younger kids will truly understand. It is a chapter book, but it's such a great book about friendship and responsibility and just kind of things that we all kind of go through day in and day out. And if they don't know what a donkey is, they can learn about one. So that's a cool book. The next one I want to share is called Love That Dog. This is about a boy named Jack. And he is not a poet at all. He struggles in school with writing poetry, but with the help of his teacher and his dog, he kind of learns. So this actually is written in poem format with the stanzas, but it's not necessary. It's more of a free write poem. So it's really kind of cool to be able to read it in that way. Though it is kind of a thicker book. It is a very quick read because it's half a page on each. So it's a very quick read, but it would be a fun one to read with the family. And kind of alternating pages. It is written in diary form, so you've got the dates up top, and then kind of his talk about the poem. So that is another good one. I would say this would be probably like late first on up. However, if you're reading it as a family, or you've got a first grader reading it to a younger sibling, or a third grader, anybody reading it to one another, it can work as any book. But it's, like I said, it's an easier read because there's not as many words to a page, and it's definitely broken up. So if you or your child needs more of that visual, like breaking it apart a little more so it's not overstimulating visually, this would definitely be a great book to read. Not so many words, it's not as intimidating, and it's a really fun book to read, really cute. And then she has so many books. They travel in Switzerland, they are in, Ohio through Idaho, so they're in the US. They're in Ireland. So many of her books just have so many different locations, and they really take you on that journey. Journeys that most of us don't get to take, and so it's just a really great book to. Her books are just really great to kind of get you there. So I'm just going to read you a little bit of this book. It's called A Fine, Fine School. And I actually got this one for Christmas. It was one on my list to actually do a lesson with my students, but we'll see if that happens. But it's by Sharon Creech, and pictures are by Harry Bliss. So it says, Mr. Keene was a principal who loved his school. Every morning he strolled down the hallway and saw the children in their classes. He saw them learning shapes and colors and numbers and letters. He saw them reading and writing and drawing and painting. He saw them making dinosaurs and forts and pyramids. Oh, he would say, aren't these fine children? Aren't these fine teachers? Isn't this a fine, fine school? Near Mr. Keene's school, Tilly lived with her parents and her brother and her dog Beans in a small house near a big tree. On Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays and Fridays, Tilly went off to school. At school, Tilly learned her shapes and colors and numbers and letters. Sometimes, when she saw Mr. Keene standing in the hallway, he waved. Aren't these fine children? He said to himself. Aren't these fine teachers? Isn't this a fine, fine school? On the weekends, Saturday and Sunday, Tilly climbed her favorite tree. And she took Beans on walks and threw him sticks. And she pushed her brother on the swing and tried to teach him how to skip. But on Mondays and Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays and Fridays, Tilly went off to school. Beans and her brother did not like her to go. Hurry, hurry, hurry home, her brother called. One day, Mr. Bean called all the students and teachers together and said, This is such a fine, fine school. I love this school. Let's have more school. From now on, let's have school on Saturdays, too. The teachers and the students did not want to go to school on Saturdays, but no one knew how to tell Mr. Bean that. He was so proud of the children and the teachers, of all the learning they were doing every day. And so that Saturday, Tilly set off for school. But it's Saturday! What about the swings? Her brother called. The following month, Mr. Keene announced, "This is such a fine, fine school. I love this school. Let's have more school. From now on, let's have school on Sundays, too." The teachers and the students did not want to go to school on Sundays, but no one knew how to tell Mr. Keene that. He was so proud of the children and the teachers that all the learning they were doing every day. And so that Sunday, Tilly set off for school. "But it's Sunday. What about the skipping?" her brother called. The following month, Mr. Keene called everyone together and said, "This is such a fine, fine school. I love this school. Let's have more school. From now on, let's have school on holidays too, on Easter and Ramadan and Thanksgiving and Christmas and Hanukkah, on all the holidays on every calendar." The teachers and the students did not want to go to school on holidays, but no one knew how to tell Mr. Keene that. He was so proud of the children and the teachers of all the learning they were doing every day. And so on Christmas, Tilly set off to school. "But it's Christmas. What about Christmas?" her brother called. The following month, Mr. Keene called everyone together and said, "This is such a fine, fine school. I love this school. Let's have more school. From now on, let's have school in the summer too, all summer long, every single day. How much we will learn," he said. "We can learn about everything. We will learn about numbers and letters, colors and shapes, the Romans and the Egyptians and the Greeks. We will learn about dinosaurs and castles and everything." The teachers and the students did not want to go to school on Saturdays and Sundays and holidays and all summer, every single day. But no one knew how to tell Mr. Keene that. He was so proud of the children and the teachers, all of the learning they were doing every day. I'm going to stop there. You will have to read it to find out about the rest. Such a great book. I hope all of you continue to stay happy and healthy. If you need anything, reach out to any of us. Have a good one, guys. See you later.